Hey everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. Today, I wanted to touch on something that may be a bit of a struggle for some people. I've been asked before how I've made journaling a consistent daily habit for me, and I've also seen recent videos from Job's Journal as well as Maria Rousseau for tips on how you can make journaling a daily habit for you. And I wanted to kind of jump in here and add some of my own tips that have been working for me, because really at the end of the day, we're all different. So some things that may work for some people may not work for you, and that's absolutely okay. But I just wanted to share what's worked for me these last 9 years that I've been journaling, which is crazy. Can't believe that. So I have a few tips here that I'm going to share with you, and let me know how you feel about those down below. So the first thing is, if you're wanting to start journaling, start off small. Make it tiny. Start off with 1 to 3 sentences a day. And that is just the start of the momentum. So don't aim for pages. Don't aim for a big, long A5 page. You know, when I first started, I started with the mini happy planner, which was the perfect size for my small writing at that time, because I was just trying to make it a habit. And I wasn't aiming for long pages. I was just going for, today felt like da 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 because of this, or one thing on my mind was this, or this happened today. And it was the perfect amount of space that made it feel like it was sustainable, and it didn't feel like it was work. So for me, it was maybe about 5 to 6 sentences that I could write about my day. And that started this whole journey of journaling for me. So really start small and choose, do 1 to 3 sentences. And starting small is better than not starting at all. So that is my very first tip. Make it small, make it tiny, and choose something like, I had a mini happy planner, but it doesn't even have to be anything like that. Anything that, somebody's messaging me, anything that works for you. Second, attach it to something you already do. So for example, if you have habits that you want to create, attach it to something you already do. So for example, habits really stick when they're piggybacked with something that you're already doing. So for example, after you brushed your teeth, write 1 line. When you're having your morning coffee, jot down thoughts while you're sipping your coffee. Before bed, so do a big brain dump before you go to sleep. And actually, that has been shown, or studies have been shown, that if you do a big brain dump before you go to sleep, it actually helps you sleep better. So do something that it's at the same time, same trigger every day. So soon, if you're going to have it with your morning coffee, you're going to start associating your morning coffee with writing 1 line in your journal. Or you're going to start associating with, 5:30 at the end of every workday with time for you in your journal. For me, it's multiple times. I've got my, hold on. Lucy, come here. Yeah. Okay, you can sit and be in this video with me. Yes, you can, if you're not too distracting. Where was I? Yes. Basically attach it to something you already do. So for me, at the end of the workday, I have that space between the end of my workday and when I start making dinner for when I can journal. And that's my winding down time as well. So I associate now that time after I finish work with journaling time. I move from my work desk to my creative desk in order to be able to start journaling. You are distracting. Mwah. So my second tip is to attach it to something you already do. The third tip that I have is basically lower the bar on good writing. Your journal isn't meant to be reread unless by you, and it's not for sounding smart, and it's not meant to be, coherent necessarily. Your journal is supposed to be messy. It's supposed to be repetitive and dramatic, or even boring, because it's your thoughts, your safe space to be able to put down anything you want. And all of that is allowed. If it starts to feel like homework because you're trying to make it sound like a journal article, then that habit is going to die. So do not worry about your writing style or anything like that. Or don't even worry about how your writing looks. Don't worry about your penmanship. It's supposed to be messy because we just want to get that habit started. So don't make it feel like homework. Just make it feel like a safe space for you to write down whatever you want, however you want. And then the fourth tip that you are distracting. The fourth tip that I have, if you don't know what you want to write, use prompts when your mind goes blank. And there's so many great websites that have journaling prompts. So for example, I know that Helen of the Coffee Monsters Co. has journaling prompts on her website. And there's different books as well, or different journals that already have daily prompts, but keep a short list ready for yourself. So, even make a list or keep a list handy. So things like, what's taking up a lot of mental space today is one question, or what went well today? That is a really big one. And that actually forces you to think about things that went well. Or this one is a good one. What am I avoiding? And I really should do that a few times. But then other is, what do I need more of lately? One question. It doesn't have to be a whole page on this question either. It could be one prompt, one paragraph, and you're done. Right? I know of a lot of people who say, I don't have anything to write about because I don't do anything. I don't think that's necessarily true unless you just stayed in bed all day and did absolutely nothing and didn't even think about anything. Then there's nothing to write about. But even if you're just sitting there doing nothing, if you still have thoughts, you still have feelings, you still see things on social media, you still watch things, all of that can be journaled. So don't think that you don't have anything to write about, because everything that you're thinking and everything that you're feeling is worthy of being written down. Number 5, pick the right medium for you. And what I mean is it a notebook? Is it a daily journal? Is it a traveler's notebook? Is it doing it on your phone, on your calendar? What is the medium that is going to work for you, that is the easiest for you to access? So be completely honest with yourself. Do you hate writing? Now, this is me preaching to the people who love fountain pens and journaling. So probably no. But for the general public who really don't like writing, use the Notes app or Google Docs. Type something out. If you love fountain pens and tactile stuff like we do, most of us on this channel do, get a notebook and a pen that you enjoy using. But also, you're rewarding yourself by being able to use your nice notebooks and your nice pens to be able to journal. So pick a notebook, and it doesn't have to be, I don't even know, but you don't have to overthink the choice of notebook. If it's a paper that you enjoy and it works well with your pen, use it. And then if you're on the go, voice notes. Oh, voice notes are great. I've done this before where, if I've been traveling and I don't have my journal with me, which is very rare, I will do a voice note and then listen to it later and then write it down. So there's different ways that you can do this that don't have to be just sitting down somewhere and writing. Do what works for you. And honestly, consistency beats aesthetics, right? But also, coming to that, if you are not a journaler who takes tons of pictures and does a lot of collaging or junk journaling or anything like that, don't worry. You don't have to do that. If you are a journal that just likes to write and just does the text, do what works for you. I went through a phase where I was using a classic happy planner large, I don't even know what it's called anymore, a really big happy planner. And I was trying to do all of the memory keeping with pictures and things. That felt like work to me. And I was months behind on this, where for me, a day-to-day basis, it's just easier to write. And that's what I lean towards. So go for the medium that works for you. Number 6, remove the guilt from missing days. We are human. We are going to miss days. Some days we're not going to feel like journaling, and that's absolutely okay. And this is a huge one, because if you miss a day, it doesn't break the streak. Think about that. It doesn't break the streak. We're not striving for 10,000 steps every day. We're not striving for this gamification of keeping up with the streak. It's just a pause. And Job said this as well. Make a rule for yourself for how many days you allow yourself to pause for, and don't try to go over that. For me, I try not to, well, it's different for each of my journals. For my A5 multi-year journal, I try not to skip more than one day. But for my A6 5-year journal, I'm okay with pausing for a week or so because I know that I have my A5 journal to look back on to help me fill out my A6 Hobonichi 5-year journal. So it really depends. Set a rule for yourself for how many days you'll let yourself take a pause, and don't go over that. But remove the guilt from it, because the pauses happen. Life happens. We can't be consistent every single day, and that's okay. Whew. Number 7, give it a reason, but don't pressure yourself with anything. Instead of saying to yourself, oh, I should journal or I have to journal, try, I get to journal to clear my head. You doing this now? There we go. Oh, okay, get comfy. Get comfy. I get to journal to track patterns in my mood. I get to journal to vent without bothering anyone. I get to journal so that I can remember my life later. For me, I get to journal to process my thoughts, to process my feelings, and to be able to look back on where I was at that point in my life. And that's important for me. And that motivates me to journal on a day-to-day basis. So being able to give journaling a reason gives me that motivation to keep going with it every single day. And I love that. I love knowing that, especially in my A5 multi-year journal, each time I'm writing in a new day, I can look back at last year's entry and see what I was going through. And that even motivates me to keep going day to day, because then I can keep looking at what happened in previous years. It's almost like a gift to myself. Like, if I can write in this day, then I can look back at last year's entry and see what happened. And I love that. And then make it rewarding. I said this already. Number 8 is make it rewarding. Get yourself a nice pen. This is like one of those, PSAs, like, get yourself a nice pen, but it's not like I have to tell you all to get yourself a nice pen. You already all have beautiful pens and probably beautiful notebooks. So use your nice pens, use your beautiful inks, get yourself a nice cozy spot, put on some lovely music, have a cup of tea or coffee. And, being able to check this off in a habit tracker, isn't it so satisfying to be able to check something off a list? So if you put this in a habit tracker and that works for you, do it. Do it. Basically, make journaling a small pleasure, because then it becomes this big habit for you over time. If it's something that you look forward to all the time, it's going to make that habit stick so much more. Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's so rewarding to be able to journal at the end of the day, because I've reached the end of my workday, and journaling is my downtime, my me time. And I love that, because then I can basically decompress while I'm getting all of my thoughts down on paper. Yeah, that's for me. That's for me. And then lastly, one of the very, very important ones here, do not compare yourself to others. I know social media is very much about posting your journal spreads and liking other people's spreads, and then thinking to yourself, I should do it like that. Why doesn't mine look like that? Don't do that to yourself, because we can, and this can live simultaneously, but we're allowed to admire and like somebody else's journaling style while still having our own. But we're also allowed to like their style and say, I wish I could be like that, and then still say to yourself, but I have my own style. And that's okay. It's absolutely okay to have your own style, because this journal is for you. The journal is for your thoughts, your feelings, and it's your space. And I don't always post my journal entries on social media because they're private and they're for me. But then I always admire those who do post their journals, because some are just beautiful, with beautiful art and writing and photos and things like that. And I always admire those, and I love those. That's not my style. My style is writing a few stickers here and there and making it work for me on a day-to-day basis. So find what works for you, and don't compare yourself to anyone else. All right, that is it. I'm hoping that those tips can help you make journaling a daily habit. I've been journaling this will be going on my 10th year now. I'm finishing the 5th year, or I'm in my 5th year of my A6 Hobonichi 5-year journal. And I just love journaling. And while it's not always as consistent as I'd like it to be, it's still there as a habit. All right, I'm hoping that Lucy and I were able to provide you with some entertainment today. If you have any questions or any comments or any tips about how journaling has worked for you, let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day. Are we done? Are we done? Yeah? Are we done? Yeah, I think we're done.